Good morning, everyone. So, Goomba was on the Night and Day Network show, and he wanted to let everyone know that he blocked Jaguar after their conversation Saturday, and she was trying to put this guilt trip on him. He blocked her because he just have to move on. And I guess he must have read some comments or read our minds because everybody was saying, why don't he just block her and stop her from communicating with him because she's going to stop him from moving forward in his life. So he said the crazy thing is this pregnancy that she claimed that he said she leaked that information to Sean Davy Way and King Payne before she even told him.
She leaked the information to the bloggers before she talked.
So as a general rule of thumb, you have to tell your husband first that you're pregnant before anybody else, because this is supposed to be an event that is a surprise to the husband and also a joyous occasion. So why would you tell people in the news on the internet before you break the news to your husband? Which just signals to me you got an agenda.
You're gonna tell me, everybody heard it. First you tell me that you're pregnant, then you don't know.
Well, that's kind of suspect. I think, like but a lot of people know, this is all alleged, she probably told him she was pregnant to get him back. And it didn't work. So she moved on to the next arsenal that she have up her sleeve. But I thought it was rather cruel because she knows he really wants to have his own kids. And she's going to use that as a weapon to bring him back when she knows darn well that she's not pregnant, allegedly. So there's nothing this woman will not do to get this man back. And if she does not get him back, I'm really scared for him. I'm afraid for him. I don't know what she's going to do.
Like, this sounds like to me like the same situation when she sit there and blamed Storm Monroe for a fucking miscarriage.
And I think a lot of people were talking about that situation where she blamed a blogger for a miscarriage that was not, because Gerald confirmed that she was not even pregnant at that time, and she blamed him for a miscarriage. So she lied about that also.
Tell you the truth, she wasn't really pregnant.
So there you have it, folks. Goomba confirming that she wasn't pregnant when she said she was pregnant before. It was just a lie. But the dangerous thing is that if you know a person is lying consistently, at what point do you withdraw yourself from that situation and say, listen, you're on your own with this line. I'm not getting out there and back you up. But we saw where he backed her up time and time again with several of the lies that she was spewing. I guess because he felt an allegiance to her. But now he's coming out and telling his truth, and it's making him look bad. It doesn't make him look good as an individual. But I guess the confession is good for him to clear his soul so he can move on.
And I hate that I fucking, you know what I'm saying, went along with the shit.
So Goomba says she's trying her darndest now for him to come back home, and he can't come back. There's no turning back because of all the things that she put out there. And you get a real sense that he's really scared that she's going to do him something, because he talks about having a dream, and then he's talking about her telling him what's going to happen to him, how she's going to unlive him. And so that's when he decided to pack his bags up and go, because he had it in his mind that she was serious. That's why he decided to go.
You didn't threaten my life. You didn't threaten my mom and dad's life, my brother, my sister.
So this narrative that Jaguar have going on is destroying people's lives, because he says his partner, one of his friends, not getting married anymore because of something that she put out on this man. And it's a shame.
And now my partner ain't gonna get married, you know what I'm saying, because of things that supposedly she had said,
So apparently Jaguar put out the narrative to this man that Goomba said something to her, and it's causing him now not to get married. And so you have to wonder what was the agenda, because she went after everybody in his life, Goomba's life, who loved him and cared for him. It's almost like if she wanted him all to herself. Nobody else must be a part of his life. Not his mother, brother, sister, dad, not even his friends. She wanted him to be totally isolated and dependent on her. And I'm wondering if it had gotten to the point where this had taken place, where he was totally dependent, then how would she have treated him? That's my question, because we know when people are so dependent on another person, then they treat them any old how. They treat them like a doormat. And we saw in the first telephone call where she was telling him that he needed her still. So I think that was her agenda, for him to be totally dependent on her so she can do with him and say to him anything that she wanted to say and do. So he said that little narrative that she has going about her being pregnant is only to get him back to come home. She wants him to come back to her. So she pulled that out of the rabbit's hat that she's pregnant, but he's not falling for it. He can see right through it. And it's not working this time. He said right after they had that conversation, he blocked her number. He does not want to be on the call list because he's not going to be calling her, and he does not want her to call him because he knows how this is going to go. In my mind, I know how it's going to go. In a lot of people's mind, they all know how it's going to go. She's going to keep calling him and calling him until she weakens him enough to get him back. So then he talked about her getting online and talking his business about he got low sperm count and those little tadpoles in doing their little swimming, and she had a lot to say concerning that Gerald can't get anybody pregnant because his sperm count is low. I mean, how does she expect this man to feel? No man wants it televised that it's a possibility he can't have kids because his sperm count is low. No man wants that to be known. But yet she got out there and she let everybody in the internet world know this information. Now, this is supposed to be somebody that she claims she loves. Love does not hurt like this. You do not tell people's personal information and then say you love them. Yeah, Goomba also said they haven't been apart in 4 years, maybe for a couple of hours, maybe 10 hours. And I would imagine maybe Jaguar is going through some type of withdrawal from her husband, because we know when you are inseparable. I mean, folks, think about it. When you have a significant other and you're together all the time, you go to work, you miss the person. You go to the grocery store, you miss the person. Wherever you go, even if it's for a couple of hours, you miss the person. If you go to some outing with your family and friends and the person isn't there, you call them on the phone. Where are you, honey? Because you're going through that withdrawal. You miss them. So I can imagine that's what Jaguar is going through right now. I think Goober is over it because he's running to save his life. But I think if his life was not threatened, like she oftentimes threatened him, he would be going through that withdrawal period. But because she amped it up to the point where she says she's going to unlive him, that's why he had to put blinders on when it comes to missing her. But she's in the missing mode. She misses him. Well, this is why she's putting this guilt trip on him. You miss me, honey. Yes, you can't do without me. When are you coming home? I want you back. All of that. But he says, no, it's not going to happen this time around. So he said the abuse was a two-way street. And he's accountable for his part that he played in the abuse in the relationship, which is a good thing. I think once you acknowledge the fact that you were abusive, then that starts your healing. That starts your journey into moving on and maybe getting some help. Because if you're going to be abusive in a relationship and you do not get the help that you need as to why you putting hands on this woman, why can't you use words to talk it out? If you do not get into why you're laying hands on another person in the relationship, then you're going to carry it over to the next relationship. So I think the fact that he's acknowledging that he was abusive, he said it was a two-way street, but he acknowledged the fact where he was abusive. I think that starts his journey into getting well and healing in that abuse of why he did it. Hopefully, he doesn't take it to the next relationship. Perhaps he needs some counseling.
It's not just a one-way street. I was accountable for mine.
So, guys, drop it in the comment section if you have gone through any type of abuse in your relationship and how have you dealt with it? Have you gotten counseling? Have you left the person? How did you deal with it? Because let's face it, sometimes the abuse is to the point where you have to leave permanently. If the person is refusing help, then you just have to step out of that relationship. Maybe it's not for you. So he said, the part where she said he pistol whipped her, he said that never happened. That's not true. He said if that had even happened, she would have buried him alive. That's how, you know, this would have went down. So he said, no, it never happened. But for the life of me, I don't understand why he was able to grin in front of the cameras knowing that all this stuff was a lie. Because let me tell you, if my husband lied on me like that, there's no way I would have gotten out in social media and sat on a couch and smiled and hugged him and pretend everything was okay. No way. So you really have to wonder, why did he stay? Was it because he had low self-esteem maybe? This is all alleged. I don't know. But for the life of me, if someone lie about so many things about you and you're still staying in a marriage, you have to look inward and ask yourself why. Why are you staying? And I think now that Goomba has stepped out of the marriage and he is from the outside looking in now, he's able to come to grips with why he stayed. And maybe he got some answers that he didn't like. And this is why he's able to say, okay, I'm over it. It's done. I'm not going back. Maybe he came to that come to Jesus moment that he saw himself for the first time and he didn't like what he saw. This is just my opinion, and this is alleged.
But the next day, she told some of my family and friends that I was going to be found a certain way, just like my dream. And I was like, nigga, I got to go.
So essentially what he said, he had a dream about he was going to be found a certain way, and the next day she pretty much told him what she was going to do to him. He said he had to go because this dream was playing out. And a lot of times you get a premonition and you got to listen to what you're feeling. A lot of times it's that sixth sense that's kicking in, that's telling you something is wrong. And guys, we've seen it time and time again in different people's relationships. One person is waging war against the other one. And a lot of times they don't even know themselves why they all of a sudden hate that person. And it's like World War II in the household. Every day is fussing and fighting. And when it gets to that point where it's affecting everyone around you, not only you, but in Jaguar's situation, she called the mama in, the father in, the brother, the sister, the friends, everybody she can call in, the uncle, everybody, and wage war against them also because she hates this man so much. Because that gotta be hate. That is not love. When you claim you love a person and you bashing them every day, you bashing their family, their friends, their loved ones, and you trying for everybody to hate that person, and you trying to isolate them so you can deal with them alone, that is not love. That is some strong hatred. So my YouTube family, if you are in a relationship where this is happening to you, where someone is demeaning you every day, relentlessly, I mean, they're going after your character, they're going after your family, your friends, everybody in your life in order to isolate you, in order to make you feel as though you're nothing, you're not worthy of love, you're not worthy of respect, you're not worthy of anybody to love you and you to love anyone. You have got to get out of that relationship. Run. Don't walk. Run. And do not look back, because it does not get better. That person is narcissistic. They want you to themselves so they can do with you whatever they want to do, however they want to do it, and how long they want to do it. But I think the most important thing right now is that he has blocked access to him. He has blocked her number. Hopefully, he does not unblock her, because then he's going to be opening up that can of worms all over again. You have to stand firm in whatever it is you decide to do. If you want to move forward and you want to block someone out of your life, then you got to stick to it. You can't double step and step back, okay? Double step backward, because when they see that you are indecisive, that's when they know that you are weak. So hopefully he holds firm in his conviction to keep her blocked. And maybe this way, if she's blocked, she can concentrate on herself and she can concentrate on healing and maybe look in the mirror and see exactly what she has become. She has become a shadow of her self, her younger self. This Jaguar right that we know today is not the Jaguar right of 20 years ago when she was belting out those songs. So maybe by blocking her and keeping her at arm's length without communicating him, she does not have access anymore to communicate with him. Perhaps this is what she also needs for her healing. Because sometimes the blessing is not having the access. Because a lot of people look at it as, oh my goodness, he's so mean to me, he's so unkind, or she is so mean and so unkind. They block my number. But sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes God does not give you what you want, but what you need. Right now, she wants Gerald to come home, but maybe that's not what she needs. She needs to concentrate on her healing process, because she thinks she's okay. She thinks she's healed. She thinks nothing is wrong because she's taking the meds. So obviously the meds are not working, or her problem is deeper than it seems. Because if you're taking meds for a certain thing and it's not working, maybe you've got a different diagnosis or another diagnosis on top of what was diagnosed. Sometimes people are diagnosed with one thing and they have two and three other things going on. So maybe she is underdiagnosed. And in this case, with I guess, the proper diagnosis, this is all alleged, I don't know. With a proper diagnosis, she will get on the right medications and will be on the way to her healing, to her journey. If Gerald, I think, was still part of her life, he probably could have conveyed that to the doctors. Because that's part of being an advocate for the patient. If you are supposed to be a loved one in this patient's life and you see where the medication is not working, because you know the person before all the psychosis kicked in, and you were able to convey that to the doctor and tell the doctor she was not this way. And you play some tapes, you play some videos for the doctor to see that this person is completely different. Then the doctor can look at that and say, okay, I know what's going on, and put her on the right medications. Moving forward now, he talked about Legina Gold. He said he really don't know anything about what's going on with her. They asked him about Sam. He said Sam is a grown man, and I guess, he's going to work it out. He's taking care of himself right now. And again, guys, this interview is with Night and Day Network, and I just took little snippets to make my point and for educational purposes only, because the Fair Act use of 1976 allow content creators to use snippets of other people's content for educational purposes only. Anyway, YouTubers, drop your commentaries about Goomba deciding to completely cut Jaguar off so he can move forward in his life. Drop your comments. I'm over and out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.